On Thursday, January 27th, 1955, 57-year-old Leonard Coey pulled into the parking lot of the Sheriff's Department in Phoenix, located on the bottom floor of the Maricopa County Courthouse. He went inside and asked to see the High Sheriff. Sergeant Buck Stockton asked if he could be of any help. Leonard, who was carrying a gun on him, pointed it at Stockton and said,
"You're damn right you can. I got a dead woman in the car. Get her out."
Nearly 6 foot, 200-pound burly Leonard Coey led Sergeant Stockton to his car, while Stockton looked for the right opportunity to disarm him. Leonard put the gun in his belt and opened the back door of his sedan and violently pulled out the body of his wife, 30-year-old Elnora Coey, and dropped her to the ground.
"There's the She tried to kill my family once too often."
Stockton, now with other deputies who had shown up, jumped on Leonard, wrestled him to the ground, got the gun, and took him into custody. Elnora Coey was dead from a gunshot wound to the left breast into her heart. The couple's 4 children were away at the time. 3 were at school and 1 was at a neighborhood grocery store. Leonard Coey told police that at their home he shot her in the tool shed and then dragged her body from the tool shed to the car, put her in the back seat, and drove to the sheriff's office.
"She tried to hit me with my hammer, and I shot her. I dragged her out of there. I thought this was the proper place to bring her, so I brought her down. I was just leaving and passing the tool shed when she called to come in. I stepped inside, and she grabbed the hammer, and I grabbed the gun. She struck at me, and I shot her. If she would have got a crack at me with that hammer, she would have killed me."
Police went to the Coey home and investigated the crime scene. There were no eyewitnesses at the time, and next-door neighbors didn't hear the shot. One sheriff said it looks like he chased her into a corner and shot her down. Coey said that Elnora had abused him and their children and tried to kill them, but police didn't believe his story. Neighbors and the Coey's children said the abuse came from Leonard, not Elnora. Also, police discovered that hours before the murder, Leonard Coey was served divorce papers. Elnora Coey was described as a hardworking woman who worked at the aircraft plant and supported her husband and her children. Leonard Coey was an unemployed carpenter. Neighbors said he refused to look for work. Further investigation showed that 22 months prior, Leonard was arrested for beating his wife, but got a suspended sentence on a disturbing the peace charge. Leonard Coey was charged with first-degree murder. In March of that year, a jury was selected, and the trial began. During the trial, a 7-year-old boy named Delmar Romo, who lived nearby, testified that he heard a boom and then saw Leonard Coey drag a body from the tool shed at the Coey home. Delmar had first been questioned by Judge Francis D'Onofrio to learn if he realized the consequences for telling a lie. Judge D'Onofrio said, "Do you know what would happen if you didn't tell the truth?" Delmar replied, "Yes, I would go down to the devil." Delmar testified, saying he went to the Coey home to see if 8-year-old Johnny Coey wanted to play. Johnny wasn't there. He said, "I was in the backyard and I heard a boom. Then I saw a man drag a woman by the arms. He dragged her down the driveway." Delmar identified the man he saw as Leonard Coey, and that he specifically saw him drag her body out of the shed. Delmar's mother also testified that when he came home that afternoon, he was excited and scared and could barely speak, and he told her what he saw. But she didn't believe him. That was until she got word of what happened later that day. The defense originally had claimed self-defense, and then they claimed insanity. A ballistics expert testified that the bullet matched the weapon used by Leonard, and powder marks on a yellow blouse worn by Elnora Coey indicated that the gun was held about 3 inches from her when it was fired. On March 24, 1955, Leonard Coey was found guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to death. His case was appealed to the Arizona Supreme Court, and they upheld the decision. In 1957, Coey was shot in the left leg by a prison guard who thought he was trying to escape. when he ran away from a group of inmates in the yard. Leading up to his execution, Coey never discussed the murder. He said to prison guards,
"I don't want to talk to nobody about anything."
He refused to discuss the killing with lawyers, doctors, anyone, even the chaplain, the day of his execution. He did ask the chaplain to give his watch to his son. He made no special last requests before his execution. He thanked the warden and asked if he can have his body sent to Wisconsin, where his family was at the time. His last words were, "If you see my wife, and she's still alive and well, tell her that I still love her." On May 27, 1957, Leonard Coey was executed in the gas chamber. He was 59 years old. Witnesses would say that it was obvious that he was trying to hold his breath as long as he could to avoid the gas. He is buried at the Arizona State Prison Cemetery in Florence, Arizona. Elnora Frances Nora Hubel Coey was 30 years old when she was murdered. She was a mother, a provider, a devoted wife, a hardworking and inspiring woman. She is buried at Bruce Cemetery in Bruce, Wisconsin. And this is the location as it appears today where the home once stood, torn down long ago.